much to chat to you about, but first of all, can you please explain how you starred in the Harry Potter films and yet you still have never seen one?
Well, I've only been to the ones I'm in, and I fall asleep. I just fall asleep.
Miriam, congratulations on the book. It's full of incredible tales and yarns. We would have expected nothing less than that. You've obviously made a lot of headlines with your stories about the Queen. For those that have missed it, what is the story? What happened when you met the Queen?
Well, quite briefly, it was British Book Week, and I was invited because I record books. I've recorded my own, by the way. And she said to me when she came over to me, you know, what do you do? And instead of replying like a normal person, I record audiobooks. I said, I'm the best reader of stories in the whole world. And quite understandably, she went to the next person and said, what do you do? And he said, Ma'am, I teach dyslexic children to read. And we've discovered that the pages being in different colours and the actual words being in different colours helps the children absorb the information more easily and quickly. He was Scottish, by the way. And and I was next to her listening to this, and I said, crumbs, how incredible. I didn't know that. And she turned to me and said, be quiet.
Oh, that's amazing. Ouch.
Miriam, you talk about your early years in comedy and you called John Cleese, Bill Oddie and Graham Chapman total shits. Why? Did they tell you to be quiet too, or what happened?
In a sense, they did tell me to be quiet because they stopped talking to me. I was sent to Coventry, so nobody spoke to me during the whole review. I was working with them on stage, getting the laughs, acting away. But when I got off stage, they refused to speak to me. I wasn't asked to the cast party, and I've never forgotten it, and I've never got over it. And you can say I'm a bitter old bag, but I'm only bitter about that. I'm bitter about the pain it caused me. And so I think they are, or were, total shits. And it seems to me that John Cleese hasn't stopped.
You know, you're known for your quick wit and the fact that you have this vibrant, huge personality. But in the book, you seem to take a more vulnerable tone.
Oh, I hope so, because obviously when your job is to entertain people, then you've got to entertain them. That's my job. But when I'm writing a book about my life is much more complicated, sad sometimes, and I want people to see the real me. That's why I called it This Much Is True. And I'm glad if you think that it's serious, because I am fundamentally, I hope, not a trivial person.
Well, you're definitely not trivial. And I've got to say, Miriam, one of the things I found most fascinating about this is your telling of the story of coming out to your parents, and in particular your mum, and the impact that it had on her. I'm gay too, and early in my life someone told me not to tell my dad because he wouldn't cope. So really, that story resonated with me. But I really regretted not doing it for a long time. But you have regrets about actually telling her, and that really surprised me.
I think that it's not kind to give people information they can't handle. It's nice for us. It's relaxing. It's releasing for us, liberating even. But it's not. It's indulgent if they can't take it. And I feel that some people can't take it, and therefore we shouldn't tell them.
Miriam, I was so happy to see there's a whole chapter in your memoir dedicated to Australia, and in it you say Australian artists and actors aren't given a fair suck of the sauce bottle. What did you mean by that?
I've been privileged to work in Australia quite a bit, and I have worked with some of the finest talents I have ever experienced in my long life. And I don't think people in England, because we're an arrogant crowd, I don't think we realise how brilliant Australians are. My introduction was, of course, with Clive and Jermaine. They were the people who opened my eyes to the glories of Australian talent. But the intellect, the range of actors and actresses and what they do and artists, we need to wake up here in England to that. And I think Australians need to be prouder and insistent that we have Australian talent on television and not American and not British.
Yeah.
Well said. Well, we could talk to you all night, Miriam, but we know you've got to go do Graham Norton, so you've got more pressing people to talk to. But you can read more hilarious stories in Miriam Margolyes' memoir, This Much Is True, available now wherever you get your good books from. Thank you so much, Miriam. Chat to you when you come to Australia next.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey there, thanks for watching. Carrie loves to hear from viewers. Please forward your feedback to Carrie's email, perth/girl/21@hotmail.com. And be sure to subscribe. That wasn't Carrie you heard off screen.